enthusiasts to take part in Indo-related activities and competitions and research. Here we've just like presented some of our hobbies. Usually we make unmanned aerial vehicles and ballistic missiles. So we compete in competitions internationally and our play teams compete successfully in currently ranked 26. And our drone team is currently ranked third in India. So in terms of competitions, we always take part in competitions that solve real world problems. Our last year mission statement was about efficient urban air mobility. The year before that it was about electronic warfare, and the year before that about vaccine trials. And in terms of the general club activities, we take up on research projects, which again have a lot of scope in industry. So we have projects like ornithopter, which help in surveillance. We develop autonomous drones, which are capable of mapping out terrain. We have helped the Goa government with a project that involves mapping out the mangroves here. And we have projects like VTOL, which are targeted at extremely efficient flight within a city. So we always take up on projects that have a lot of scope in solving real world problems.
What was your read on this drone?
So this was one of the first drones which was built in the club.
Be very fast.
Yeah, this is called Zero. So the point of this was to develop stable flight. So drones are highly maneuverable, but this one had a microcontroller implemented so that it was sensitive. So even if you took your hand off the remote, it would fly away or rather it would correct itself. So that's the point. We have other drones which are dogs and extremely fast. We have manual drones and phase one. Now we have achieved autonomy in drones. Finally, we are one of the first in India to do it with the new ROS 2 which came out. And in terms of planes, we are now finally working on autonomy in planes. And so we have planes that can fly by themselves within cabins. Yes.
We're waiting. Chancellor's going.
It is a part of an international organization, SAMES, stands for Students for Exploration and Development of Space. So it was originated in MIT and then it became global. We are now a part. So basically we're a research intensive lab. We do research projects such as developing ML models to technical projects as well. For taking part in various competitions such as rocket team. We are currently building a self-landing rocket, and we're building CanSat. Satellites is basically in the form and shape of a can, and we are also taking part in NASA's competition HCRs. It reaches back, so it launches, and then whatever payload is to be delivered, it delivers that, and then it lands back. Basically, that's self-explanatory. So yes, and we take part in outreach as well, and we connect with other state staffers through lectures and presentations. We last semester SETS USA ex-chair presented a research on variables. And this is one of the telescopes we have. We have a couple of more in the function. So this is an equatorial mount, and we use this mainly for research purposes, not just for simple observations. Yes, in the night and we do solar observations as well, but not with this telescope. We have different telescope for solar observations. That is observing mount. So we submit those data to associations of astronomers like AMAs and different associations. We tend to get as much in detail as we can. We are contributing as much as we can.
We're waiting for Chancellor's going before, and then we can go.
Sorry.
Chancellor Scholz's journey is a testament to the same values that define Germany's resilience and global influence. With a distinguished career spanning law, finance, and public policy, Chancellor Scholz has long been a strong advocate for economic equality, social justice, and sustainable growth. His leadership in Germany's climate and economic policies is particularly relevant to us here, as he strives to ensure solutions to global challenges and foster innovation that can impact the world. Under Chancellor Scholz's period, Germany has embraced a collaborative, future-forward approach, enhancing its role as a global leader in green technology and industry. These values resonate deeply with us here at BITS, where we aim to equip our students with the skills that to make meaningful contributions to a more sustainable, equitable world. With India and Germany celebrating 50 years of scientific collaboration, it's time we further strengthen and deepen these engagements. Joint and dual degree programs at undergraduate,
You have
masters,
only
and
5 minutes to record once Chancellor shows relax with the students. After 5 minutes, the camera is off. Yeah, then you can
Audio is
Harper for such a joint degree possible. We are deeply honored, sir, to welcome you today, Chancellor Scholz. Your visit highlights the long-standing and valuable ties between India and Germany, particularly in education, research, and innovation. At BITS Pilani, we are proud to embody the spirit of modern India, having produced over 6,400 startup founders and co-founders and 15 unicorn founders. Your presence today is a powerful source of inspiration for the next generation of innovators and leaders, encouraging them to reach new heights in shaping the future. Thank you, Chancellor Scholz.
So thank you for having me and inviting me and giving me the chance to discuss with you. I'm really glad to hear your questions later and to discuss with you all the topics that are important for you. I think it's already said that India and Germany are growing together with innovation, mobility, and sustainability. This is the motto of this year's intergovernmental consultations that took place yesterday in Delhi. And with Prime Minister Modi, we focused on topics that are important for both India and Germany: innovation, technology, renewable energy, sustainability, as well as migration and mobility. So a lot of questions to be discussed. And we launched a lot of partnerships on technical developments we will do for the future. I think there is one aspect that should be mentioned. So in the beginning, a lot of Indians are now living in Germany. 50,000 of them are students. Compared to 2022, that's an increase of 50%. So there is more to come. And I was really impressed to learn that India now represents the largest group of foreign students at German universities. So a good message, and so I'm very happy to be here with you today. So, but instead of giving a long speech, I'm really happy to hear your questions, your remarks, and to discuss with you. Someone will start. Who will be the first? Please.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Sanman. I'm a third-year student here. I'm the president of the student council over here, and it is always an honor to welcome you to India. My question is that since this is your third visit to India since you have become the chancellor in 2021, what benefits will we expect in the Indian educational sector by the Indo-German relations, which have been built and strengthened by this visit also.
So I hope it's now better to understand. So once again, we have good relations between Germany and India. India is growing, and so it is very good if the technical exchange, the investments coming from Germany are also promoting the growth of India in the future. And there are a lot of different fields where we can work together, if it is on questions of security, if it is about renewable energies, if it is IT and software development, where many Indians are working in Germany, but also in companies of Germany in this country here. This is something that is happening, and we should continue to do this. India is now the biggest democracy of the world. It is the country with most people living in one country today, and if we make it happen, that the growth will continue so that everyone in India has a good income and a good future, this will be good, not just for India, but also for the world. So, who else? Please.
Hello. So a major question would be that, like, as you are obviously a statesman, so how do you deal with dissent which reaches you? Like, any dissent in the country, any dissent by the people, how is it dealt with as a person in power?
So I'm long in politics. I became active when I was very young, but I started working as a lawyer after having had my professional education on this question. I worked as a lawyer for 13 years before I was elected to be member of the National Parliament, and had different tasks. I followed that, being Minister of Labor, being the mayor of the city of Hamburg, being the finance minister, now the chancellor. And I think it is something which is an honor to work for others, to do something for making the life in your country better, do what you can for improving peace and security, which is important for all of us. And so I think it is something where you have to do a lot. It's a 7 days week where you have to work every day, more or less, but it is something which is very important, and I'm really pleased that the people in Germany gave me the chance to do this for them for a certain time. Please.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to BITS again. My name is Kanishk. I am a fourth-year student. So my question is, the world today faces escalating tensions, conflicts and uncertainties, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, where issues of rule of law and freedom of navigation is pressing. As Indians, region security is of paramount concern, and I am keenly interested in the role of Indian-German relations in this. Indians, however, are really skeptical of Europe's position in global matters, very evident standards in international diplomacy. So, Chancellor, I ask, is India merely another economic partner or market of trade and commerce for Germany, or does this visit signify a meaningful reset shift towards deeper strategic ties aimed at securing peace, harmony and stability in Indo-Pacific region?
First, it is important that we understand that the future that can work for all of us in the world is that we stick to international rules, and especially when it comes to seafaring, the international rule of law at sea, which is very important. And as I already told you, I had been the mayor of the city of Hamburg in Germany, which is a big port city, but also a city where the International Court on the Law of Sea is placed. So I'm very much linked to the question that these rules coming from this universal agreements are followed by everyone. And it should be not the rule of the most powerful, it should be the rule that we developed together, which is the case with the United Nations Code of the Law of the Sea. So this is something where we are working together, and when I discussed with Premier Modi on these questions, we agreed that this is an important aspect. One of the reasons why now 2 ships of the German Navy are today here in this city, and we will have a chance to look at them and to discuss with them about what they experienced when they acted together with the Indian Navy and tried to secure the development in the region. What is my perspective of the world to come? And I think more or less this is the question you asked. It will be in 2050 a world of 10 billion people. And there will be a lot of very powerful new countries, not new countries, but newly powerful countries coming up. Like, for instance, many countries of Asia, like Indonesia or India, countries from Africa, like South Africa or Nigeria, that will have 500 million inhabitants in the second half of this century. This will be also countries from the south of America and many, many others as those that are mentioned today when it's going to international politics. And this multipolarity is a chance for all of us. And I think this is now the time where we try to develop the relations in a way that they are equal-footed, that everyone is working together and that there is no one telling the others what to do. But this also means that we are following very hard the international regulations and agreements, for instance, the UN Charter. And coming back to the crises and conflicts we are seeing, my view is that the biggest threat that is today happening to international security and peace is the war of aggression Russia started against Ukraine. And this is because of one single aspect of this attack. It is about changing borders. And the agreement we had in the United Nations and in many other regional agreements on peace and security, for instance, also for Europe, is that never borders should be changed by war and by force again. And this is the basis for peace. If you are a small country, but side to side to a strong neighbor that has just the power to do something and to harm you, you have to live sure and safe and knowing never this will happen. And this is also due, if we look at the history of borders. One of the ambassadors of Kenya to the United Nations made a speech over there in the Security Council saying that just look how the borders in Africa were drawn by drunken officers of colonial powers. And if we all would try to find the right border and are going to war, we will have 100 years of war in Africa. This should not happen. The borders as they are today should be not threatened, endangered, and I think this is one of the main aspects for global peace and good security for all of us. So, please.
Guten Tag, myself Anshu Mittal, a sophomore student here. Excellency, Germany has been on forefront for renewable energy, yet it faced significant energy challenges during the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So how do you see for world in near future for adopting to green development alongside meeting its own energy requirements? Thank you.
It is obvious that when the world becomes a better place to live for more people, this will have an impact on environment. So if everyone lives in the world, and I spoke about 10 billion people in 2050, in a way that is custom in Germany or have been custom in Germany 10, 20, 30 years ago, this would be not a good place if we do it in the way we do it today, because then we would use that much of fossil resources, the climate change dramatically, and many things we are looking for so it is necessary to make growth possible, and in this way also growing renewable energies, which gives us the chance to produce the necessary energy without harming the environment, more or less. So this is why Germany decided that we will produce 80% of our electricity capacity in 2030 by renewables. And we are very much running into this direction. It's at this time approximately 60%. So it's highly likely that we will reach this goal, though this means it happens while increasing the need for electricity. because when we look at industrial processes or if we look at mobility, we understand that many of the things we are doing today with fossil resources will be done with electricity. Driving cars, running processes and industries. And so we will not just have 80% of what we have today, but an increased capacity for electricity production. In Germany, so you are technicians, so possibly you are looking for numbers. It's now 600 terawatt of electricity we are producing. It will go up to 800 terawatt, and I'm very much convinced that in the 30s it will be double the figure we will see in the end of this decade. So this is what is the change. And we are exchanging our experience and technologies with India, and I see that India is now growing fast when it comes to renewables. If you look at all the energy production, just a small part, but it is growing, and this is, I think, a good message, and we will be as helpful as we can to grow together. Please. It comes. So it's a question I was not asked so far, so it's very good that it happens to me. I really don't know, because I had a chance to do law studies in the reform project, which happened then, which made it feasible for Germany, it was very fast, to end with all the studies and also the pragmatic doings which are linked to the education in 6 years. Some use 8 or 10 years in Germany for doing all the studies that are related to law before they can act as a lawyer or work as a judge or something like this. And this was very good for me because I did a lot of things aside of my studies, which was not the recommendation of the professors, to be honest, and they will not do here. But so I fell in love with my wife. It was very good, and took some time. And I also did a lot in the youth organization of my party. But in the end, I made it with the studies, and that was important. So I had the chance to work in the profession I decided to take. Yeah, thank you. Not by law. I think they have some parents and they could do something with educating their children. And I think it is also something that depends on the experiences that we have. If we are having good friends, if we have good schools, if we are having good universities or whatever, and this will be also part of our life. And it is then not just that we are all the time hanging to social media. So I think the main question is if there is a proper life aside of social media. And this is very, very